Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter.
What is it? Ustera. What is it really? It's pagan, isn't it? Or Celtic?
Well, no, it's a Christian festival, Easter.
Yeah, but it's hijacked,
Well,
isn't it?
all festivals have their roots in paganism. All of them do,
Yeah, I
because
suppose so.
paganism is the cycle of nature. In line with the cycle of nature, with the natural rhythms. And, you know, stories have been attributed to various parts of the year and wangled to suit needs
Yeah.
over time. And that's what happens. But if you're celebrating, it's Easter Sunday for you now.
Easter
Lovely.
Sunday, yeah.
We don't really celebrate Easter. We don't really celebrate any of the Christian festivals.
No.
But we did as kids. I mean, you know, we had Easter eggs. But it used to confuse me, and I've said this before, because I thought that rabbits laid eggs.
Which, of course, they don't.
Until I was about 18.
They do have eggs.
Well, inside.
Inside, yeah.
Anyway, lovely. So it's finally spring, but it feels like winter again.
Well, we warmed up, didn't we? We got to about, I think in the polytunnel it was 44 degrees on Tuesday. And now it's 6 degrees outside and it says feels like 0.
Yeah, we had heat wave conditions on Tuesday and Wednesday, 26 to 28, I think.
Yeah.
I recorded outside in the back garden.
Was that in full sun?
That was in full sun, but if you're in full sun, that's how it's going to feel.
Yeah, it did. I was doing some sewing and it did feel hot.
Yeah. So we plummeted back down to like 7 degrees, I think, centigrade. Which is, you know, not unlike spring, Paul.
Well, it's a bit, I think they're saying it's a bit colder than normal.
Okay.
But I mean, we've had these temperatures many a year. And of course, all of the cherry blossoms and apple blossoms are beginning to come out. And the winds have started.
Well, the cherry blossoms have been out for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they're now fully out.
Well, they're almost gone.
Because of the wind.
Well,
yeah.
no, because the ones in the back garden are particularly early.
No, those are early, but the general ones on the street.
Well, some are out, some aren't. That's what I've noticed. There's that beautiful big fluffy one on St. Margaret's Road, which is at its absolute peak. It's full, floriferous.
It's a white one. It's a very sort of paley, creamy, pinky one. And we've got a miniature cherry on the plot, and that's in full bloom at the moment. Though I was doing some work near the broad beans, and when I brushed past it, of course, the petals started blowing off.
Blossom. I love that word. Blossom.
Isn't it blossom?
That's what I just said.
You didn't do the
I did. You didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you do the
Blossom.
blossom.
It's like bosom, isn't it?
Buttock. Yeah.
Bittig.
That was my Inspector Clouseau way of doing it.
Not very funny. Lovely. So welcome to our blossomy bosoms. And thank you to all our new subscribers and also our new members on our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's Planet Vegetaria, a Facebook group by Richard and Paul since 2017. That's contractual.
Yeah, they're piling into Planet Vegetaria at the
Absolutely. New followers on Instagram too. Twitter, and also our very dear personal supporters on Coffee.
Yeah.
That's our supporters page, where you can buy us a coffee to support us.
And
Lovely.
you don't have to do it monthly. You could just go, actually, I want to give them a one-off Philip. Is it called a Philip?
A what?
Philip? A sort of boost, something? I'm sure it's called a Philip.
And today's random word is So, as we've said, the weather continues to plummet in temperature, and it is cold. I mean, I was cold the other day when we went out for our walk up the hills.
Were you cold?
Yeah, my hands were frozen. My body wasn't, because I was wearing my lovely big coat, which is great. But my hands were frozen, because when you're taking photographs, I do wear gloves. I wear 2 gloves, actually, but they were still cold. So I was glad of that flask of tea and snack that we had on top of the hillside, Paul.
We did. We were going to, we went to our usual seat, which overlooks the plains. And it was a bit too blustery there.
It was too windy there.
So we went around the corner, back to where we sort of come from. And there's a little bench there, and we sat on the little bench. But as we sat on the little bench, I thought, this bench seems smaller than I remember. But actually it was a bench further up I was remembering.
And it's a bench with a little memorial plaque on it too, which I think is very sweet.
It is.
Very sweet. So, Paul, what are we going to talk about today? I've had a haircut.
You have?
I've given myself a haircut. It's interesting, home haircuts. Clearly Paul gave himself one. Lovely. But I decided I just wanted to trim off a couple of inches from all over. So I sectioned it off.
Looking like Björk.
In little ponytails, and cut sort of 2 inches off all over, which was great. The problem with a home haircut is you're not always sure which decade you're going to end up with. I mean, when I blow dried it, I kind of looked like a cross between Bad Sandy and Bon Jovi. Paul's
The
thinking,
person
what's
or the
Bad
whole
Sandy,
band?
aren't you?
No, Bad Sandy is when she's in her black. And
That's
things.
right, Paul.
Yeah, when she's all sexy and
Yeah,
dancey.
Bad Sandy.
Yeah, rather than the big pink floaty
Good
dresses.
Sandy.
Good Sandy, yeah. With a little... Does she have twin set and pearls or something?
I don't know whether she's
sort of
got
like
pearls on,
little
I'm not sure.
cardi, hasn't she?
But that's the problem with a home haircut. In terms of sort of getting a style right, that's quite hard to do. But what really annoys me is when you do your research and you're thinking, I need a few hints and tips on how to cut my own hair, which I don't really need actually.
Well,
but,
why'd you do it?
Well, just to give you confidence.
Oh, right.
Because if you're cutting off a couple of inches, you know, that's a bit of a difference. But it makes me die. It really makes me die, Paul, how they all say the professional hairdressers, don't cut your hair at home. Don't do it.
Well, they don't want you to do it.
It's like, it's not as though you're... Yeah, but you can't go and see a hairdresser at the moment,
No, I know,
Paul.
but they want you to not... I mean, we're coming out of lockdown. That'll be something on the cards.
Finished.
They want you to pay £85 for a haircut.
I haven't finished. They all say things like, oh, don't cut your hair. Don't cut your own hair. As if you're cutting off your arm. It's going to grow back.
Yeah, your arm wouldn't.
It's going to grow back. No, your arm wouldn't. You're not a lizard.
No.
Or whatever
That
creatures
would be
grow
quite
back
good, wouldn't it?
limbs.
Amphibians.
Some do, don't they? Some
yeah.
grow back limbs. Humans aren't that evolved then.
Have you pinched that thing together at the back so that you can snip it off?
No, it's just a little tight little ponytail. This is my sleek look today. This is my I'm going to the office. I own 51% of this company. Anyway, let's move on. So we went out walking. We had our little walk. What was the name?
Excursion.
Excursion. Now, we did go slightly further than stay local, admittedly.
Is it still Stay Local?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But we needed wide open space and we were pretty careful.
Yeah.
But the fun thing was that there is now evidence in the public domain that we didn't stay local that day.
Oh yes, there is.
We were
yes.
caught on camera, and we
Yes.
were featured on BBC One
Yes, we were.
on a news programme.
A local news.
A local
programme.
news programme, BBC South Today, which by the time you see this probably won't be available to watch again.
But you can go to Richard and Paul, our Facebook page, because Nina posted the extract
She
on
posted a little clip from it, didn't she?
there. Well, yeah, the bit that we were in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, on the thread talking about BBC South Today and being on television. We are finally famous. We were walking along.
Have you been on TV before?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Only
I
on our YouTube channel here.
I have.
But we were walking and we were caught on camera, and she filmed us again actually when I was taking photographs.
She did.
Yes, so there we are. Lovely.
We did. It was funny.
Finally.
We chatted. We said hello to her.
We
didn't
did.
we?
I know, she could have said. She could have bloody said. By the way, I've just filmed you. Do you mind?
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't she, Paul?
She could
yes,
have done.
she could.
She could have done.
So that was all jolly good fun.
Would we have minded?
No.
No.
We'd have said we'll do a little interview if you want.
Yeah, we could have done actually.
Yeah, but she wasn't. She was just camera woman.
Yeah, she was getting the what
The
they call B-roll.
The B-roll.
The B-roll.
But that was jolly good fun and lovely.
Did she use any other B-roll from
Yeah,
Aston?
there were a
Road?
few clips,
Right,
little clips. There were those people taking the dog for a walk at one point. But I noticed she didn't have their faces.
Or maybe ours were so glorious she decided to keep them in.
Anyway, that was lovely. So, what else has been happening this week?
And then we went
Paul?
up to West Wickham,
We did, up the hill
up the hill
to the
to
mausoleum.
and we got there about 11 o'clock, and there's a really narrow.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, set an alarm for... Alexa, stop.
Alarm for
Alexa, stop. Carry on, Paul.
And there's a really narrow road going up to the mausoleum. And as we were going up that road, I think we passed about 7 cars coming down.
Yeah.
And there's sort of pull-ins, so you know it's safe to go up and not too stressful. But I thought, oh, it's going to be packed at the top there. And when we got to the top, we expected a whole load of cars, but no.
So
But we
went,
had a nice walk, didn't
we
we?
went to Aston Rowan first, then we went to West Wickham, and then when we dropped the hire car back at Ealing Hospital, which is of where it lives.
We went a different way, didn't we? Because there was a lot of traffic for some reason, wasn't there?
Oh yes, we went through Beaconsfield.
We did.
Lovely posh area full of huge houses.
Because we normally go up and down the M40 to get to where we go to. And because we couldn't get back onto the M40, we did the B roads and the A roads.
It was lovely.
It was
lovely.
absolutely
Through
lovely.
lots of little towns and villages of Buckinghamshire and Berkshire.
Berkshire.
Is it
Berks and Bucks.
Berks and Bucks.
Berks and Bucks.
Royal counties.
Would we have gone into... No, we wouldn't have gone into Herts. No.
And so that was lovely. Absolutely lovely.
But Beaconsfield is such a beautiful village.
It is.
It
lovely.
really is.
So that was
Expensive,
all fine.
though.
That was all lovely. We got back, went to West Wickham where there'd been an Easter egg.
Yeah?
Did I?
I think you said that wrong. There was an Easter egg hunt.
That's what I said.
Didn't sound like it.
An Easter egg hunt. That's what I said. An Easter egg hunt.
Oh dear. Even when I think about it.
Paul, stop. Think about the children. I can't say it now.
Can't even think it.
They were hunting for Easter eggs on West Wickham Hill. We found one, didn't we, Paul?
We found a couple.
So did the red kite. That's what the red kite was swooping down for.
That was, yeah.
It was hunting for Easter eggs.
So someone had hard-boiled hard-boiled eggs, and then painted them. And they were distributed around the mausoleum. Well, the ones we saw were anyway.
On the hillside, in little rabbit holes, weren't they?
Because there's lots of rabbit holes, because the rabbits are really... I saw a rabbit yesterday, haven't seen one for ages. And we were just looking at this rabbit hole, and you spotted the Easter egg at the bottom of it. Oh dear.
I'm so sorry.
And there was... I think it was quite odd because Richard was taking photographs of West Wickham House, and I was sort of looking on the ground thinking, somebody's spilt their egg mayonnaise sandwiches or their egg sandwiches, because there were bits like, there was boiled yolk and boiled...
That was definitely the red kite's work, I think.
I think so, yeah. And then when we were there, of course Richard's always got his camera ready, so we saw this red kite that swooped down, that hovered and then swooped down and picked something up, and off he went, and that was a piece of egg. And you didn't have your camera ready, did you?
Actually, no, I didn't, no, but it's difficult to take shots like that if a bird is in flight and the lighting conditions aren't great. Well, it is. You don't know anything about that, Paul, so don't even
I
go
do.
there.
I got the swans on camera the other month.
Yeah, in sunlight. It was a sunny day when you did that.
Yeah, but they were always also far away. You could hear them more than you could see them.
Exactly. It's a difficult shot to do. But yeah, thinking about it, that's how you could actually attract a red kite to come down.
Put a boiled egg out.
Put a boiled egg out in a rabbit hole. Yeah. It's going to think it's a rabbit egg. Oh, no, they don't have eggs, do they?
We're not back on that.
Oh, God, Richard, really. Paul, let's move on.
Yeah, rabbit eggs.
So, lovely.
Why are bunnies Easter bunnies? Why are they bunnies?
I'm not sure. A symbol of life, because rabbits
that's
multiply
true.
rapidly.
Fertility.
All of that.
And maybe because they spring. Because they jump, don't they? They spring. Maybe that's something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bunny hops.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on now. So, Paul, this week was quite special for you down at the plot because you had a visit from the Deputy Lieutenant.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
Who is the Deputy Lieutenant, Paul? What do they do and who are they responsible for, and what jobs do they have?
Well, they have the job of Deputy Lieutenant, or this one has.
For whom?
For the Queen.
Thank you, Paul.
So the Lieutenant and the Deputy Lieutenant are the Queen's representatives.
In the borough.
In the borough.
For the borough.
Of the borough.
Of the borough.
For the Queen.
London is separated into boroughs.
Yeah, so the areas are all called boroughs. Yeah. So
there are 32 in
32.
London.
So like Guernsey is a crown dependency. The ownership, if you like, of Guernsey is dependent on the crown of the Duke of Normandy. And the Duke of Normandy crown is currently held by the Queen of England, or the King or Queen of England. It has been since 1204. And we have a governor in Guernsey who is the Queen's representative in Guernsey. So just like that, each area has a lieutenant and a deputy lieutenant. And he came and had a look at what we were doing at the allotment, which was rather lovely. And he was really impressed by the plots that we've got there and the amount of work that we do in volunteering and fundraising and that type of thing. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, lovely. I've seen communication from the Deputy Lieutenant occasionally. We get emails. I think, in fact, the council got an email thanking us for our work during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, on behalf of the Queen.
Yeah.
It's a funny word, Queen. Queen.
Queen. Why is it funny?
Queen. Think about it. Queen.
Queen. Queen.
Queen.
Queen.
Queen.
Queen.
Once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. Queen.
Queen.
You hear the U.
Huh?
Queen.
Yeah.
Full of interesting facts.
Where's king come from?
King? The word king?
Mm.
I don't know.
Do you think kingdom came after the word king?
I don't know.
Before?
Are you going to tell us, Paul?
I've got no idea.
Because the French is royaume, isn't it? Roy, roy, royaume. United Kingdom is Royaume-Uni. Royaume-Uni. Isn't it? Royoume.
It is. Which I suppose is where we get royal from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But king, I don't know.
Mm.
If anybody knows, answers on a postcard.
Mm. Or you could just put it in comments below. Yeah.
Lovely. And also, Paul, you've been starting the process of clearing out some books.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
And getting money for them.
Yeah. So with lockdown, unfortunately, some of our favourite charity shops are not going to be reopening, which is a great shame. I think it's the Cats Protection League and one other PDSA. They're not going to be reopening, or they look shuttered but completely shut, if you see what I mean.
Shame.
And when charity shops do reopen, there's certain things that I'm going to be taking to them, but I wanted to clear some books because I was given other books and I want to put them on the bookshelf, and so yeah, I used an app called Ziffit.
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 Ooh.
Ziffit.
Available in the UK only, Paul?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It may be available elsewhere. We've got another one over here called Money Magpie, which other people,
You
use.
don't get a lot though, do you?
You don't. I sent off 5 books and I got £5.38. But what made it really easy? These were cookery books that had quite a lot of meat recipes, which I'm not going to be using again. So you scan the code. It says how much it will give you for that book, and because the books were over a certain weight, they arranged for a courier to come and pick them up from our front door.
Fantastic.
So that was really easy. If they're under a certain weight, you take them to a local convenience store where they do collections. I'm not sure. I think it was DPD. This one collected it. So you can do it. That it's not courier collection as well, but because of the weight it was courier collection, and we got £5.38 and not a lot of money.
Well,
but
it pays for a few packets of pasta, doesn't it, Paul?
Well, yeah, it does, and it also means that those books are going to go off to somewhere else.
That can use them and read them and enjoy them.
And as I say, I've got other books that I will be taking to the charity shop charity shops when they reopen.
Lovely, Paul.
Oh, I think you can do it with CDs and DVDs as well.
I think we should get rid of all our DVDs.
I don't think we should get rid of all
Not
of them.
all of them. We'll keep Mame and Kath and Kim.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We can get rid of Ab Fab, can't we?
No. So you also wanted to give an update on Mum.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
For those of you who were interested.
So Mum had her hair cut. So Guernsey's lockdown is over. It's not fully over. You can't easily travel there at the moment unless it's very specific reasons.
Unless you quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Mum had her hair cut not last week, the week before. So she's quite happy about that. She was saying to me yesterday, I hadn't had my hair cut for 6 or 7 weeks. And I said, well, I haven't really had my hair cut for like 18 months, Mum. And she went, oh, is it long then? So, yes. I think Cousin Tina showed her a photo a couple of months ago anyway. But I did cut it a little bit the other day. But, and she went to the doctor, just have a checkup and was happy about that. And was able to do that on her own. So a taxi took her there and brought her back, but she was able to do the visit on her own, which I think was really positive for Mum to be able to do that.
I don't think she'd have done that a few months ago.
I don't think so either, no.
So that's given her a confidence boost, probably.
Yeah,
that's great.
I think so.
Good
I think
for
so.
her.
And because the lockdown is easing in Guernsey quite considerably, she's had a few visitors. So the person that lives next door to her, that she knew years ago when she was doing silver service.
You said
as a
that the other day.
I know I did. I did.
She's never been a civil servant.
She's never been a civil servant. I was a civil servant for 2 hours once in the tax office. Yeah, so the person next door she knew from many years ago. This person just moved in, maybe about January time or anyway, not long ago. So they spent some time, and another waitress that Mum used to use, who's a very good friend, popped in and saw her. So she's looking forward to getting out onto the patio and doing a bit of tidying and snipping out there.
Good.
The hydrangeas are doing well, apparently.
Good.
So
ours are on the way back as well, I've noticed, so that's good. They do need quite a good cut back.
Yeah.
At this time of year, if not earlier.
Well, it depends what type of hydrangea it is. Ours do, but they're fine.
Anyway, lovely. So what have we been watching on television in the past week? It's been another fairly good week for TV. We've watched our usual VEEP. We're now on season 4. Which is which we're thoroughly enjoying. We're getting through about 3 or 4 in the evening, which is great. We like to go to bed on a high. And
I mean, it's funny, VEEP, because so many of the characters are just horrible.
Oh, most of them are absolutely vile, especially her character. But this, I guess, is what we perceive politicians to be very often. We imagine them to be vile characters. And I was reading that it was actually based on the thick of it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which I did not enjoy at all. I've said it before, I much prefer the pace of American comedy in terms of the way that the American accent works, in terms of its flow. It flows such a lot better, especially with swear words. And there are a lot of swear words. And the insults that they throw at each other. It just flows. It's so much quicker and so much more slapstick in a way.
Yeah.
When British actors do that kind of comedy, it comes across as just seeming too serious and real.
Oh, it can come across.
Yeah.
Yeah, very often does. Yeah.
Yeah. So VEEP, we just adore it. Fantastic show. We know it's been around for a while. We're late to the party. But we absolutely love it. So that's...
And I know quite a few, well, not quite a few, I know a few of the politicians who are in our government now and are in the cabinet and have worked with them on certain things over, maybe the last 10 years, not recently. And yeah, it's so true to life in many ways. You get the on-camera bit and then you get the off-camera bit and bang.
Okay, Paul.
Oh, it amazes me. It does.
Boastfulness.
No, I'm not being boastful.
Not a very good
I'm
trait.
being factful. Factful? Is that a word? Factful.
So, silence. We've carried on with RuPaul's Drag Race US. And last week, Utica Queen was booted off.
Yeah, I think she was booted off as well.
Well, she was a little bit wacky in her approach to the roast.
Yeah, so
especially in rehearsal. She insulted Michelle.
Well, and then she did the same in the actual roast.
Annoying.
It's an interesting. I thought it was particularly interesting seeing what she was doing, because a few weeks ago there had been she was with Simone, wasn't she? She was twinned up with Simone, and she was basically going to be taking on Simone was going to be making her up, and she was going to be taking on Simone's mannerisms and things like that. And Simone is black, and Utica was going on about, I'm not comfortable with doing this because it's misappropriation, and I'm not sure whether this is right. And Simone was going, come on, this is what we're doing. I mean, it's not as if it was blackface,
No, exactly.
It was about mannerisms and embodying that other character. So she was so worried about misappropriation of other people's cultures in that programme, yet 3 weeks on, she was quite happy to fat shame and be really mean in her roasts about the people in front of her. And there was a real disjoint for me between those two different episodes. There was a disconnect in what I thought her thinking would be.
Yeah.
So
she's supposedly right on and cool.
Yeah.
Very odd.
But
anyway.
I think interestingly, some of the ones that you didn't think were going to do that well, or didn't think they were going to do well, did well in that. So yeah.
And we watched a movie.
We did, yeah.
We watched a movie.
Tomorrowland
with George Clooney, which is a science fiction fantasy. We watched it. If it was aimed at children, which I think it was.
Well, I think it was a family movie. It was a movie that, parents, guardians and children could watch together. I think it's one of those cross ones.
If it's a family movie, it's too bloody long. God, it went on forever.
And George Clooney,
not my favourite actor.
No.
I never believe him. That's the problem. If I don't believe an actor, then I just can't enjoy the performance. I can't enjoy the script, the way he delivered things. I mean, it's actually an uplifting movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the concept was extremely far-fetched. But I think it had a good heart to it. I think he was in it as well, from VEEP.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Hugh
Laurie.
Yeah. He's done well in America, hasn't he?
I mean, he's done incredibly
surprisingly so.
In fact, we were watching a thing on YouTube a couple of weeks ago where he was taking the mickey out of Americans, wasn't he? This was sort of a skit when, as part of Fry and Laurie, really, what's that, 30 years ago or something?
Yeah.
And that was funny. And you see how well he's done in America.
He's another one that I don't quite believe. I just see him as Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, I see him as Hugh Laurie.
Putting on an accent.
Yeah.
I don't believe his accent. It's not authentic enough for me.
But he's done what was it, House? That's what he became really big in, wasn't it? House. Yeah.
I mean, there are quite a few American actors that try to do English accents. And there's only a few that seem to pull it off. Angelina Jolie. She does a good one.
Yeah.
Really good one.
Do you remember when Brad Pitt did that Irish accent for, was it Fight Club or something?
I don't know. Gillian Anderson's good at switching between. Didn't she grew up here, but then moved to
America
or Canada? I'm not sure. She's good at switching between the two. Very good. She's convincing either way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I had no idea in the X-Files that she had an English accent. You would not have guessed at all.
I love it in all the Murder, She Wrote when they're in London or
Ireland.
Ireland.
Hello, Jessica.
Oh,
Welcome back to Ireland, which is actually Hollywood Hills.
yeah.
You know.
So they do all the setup shots, of
Yeah.
Irish countryside and whatever, or English countryside, and then they go to the quintessential Irish house or English house,
Or
manor
English pub,
house.
which never looks like an English pub.
And when you get to the outside of it, you think, yeah, that's Hollywood Hills, or that's, it's nothing like what houses look like over here.
Anyway, to get back to what we were talking about, Tomorrowland. So, it's a sort of fun film. I kind of started to fall asleep partway through.
It was too long.
Far too long.
Cut out the George Clooney bits and it would have been better.
And, I mean, I want to say the visuals are eye-poppingly good, but they actually got a bit tedious after a while.
Yeah, a bit tiresome.
I think too much can actually make you feel a little fatigued.
Did the boy grow up? Was the boy George Clooney or not?
Yeah.
So he grew up and he was George Clooney?
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from that. Worth a watch, probably, if you're into that kind of fantasy stuff.
And they've got 2 hours spare.
And maybe you've had a couple of glasses of wine to take the edge off.
Talking about glasses of wine, what else did we watch?
Glasses of wine.
5 Go Caravanning.
5 Go...
Celebrity 5 Go Caravanning.
Yeah, on Channel 5.
Yeah.
Home of the celebrities get into a situation that they might not want to be in.
Well, I think the interesting thing is the first series was called 5 Go Caravanning or something.
Yeah.
And this one has been called Celebrity, even though the first one was Celebrities. But
So
I do enjoy
that
that,
because they're nice people, essentially. And the celebrities were Sherry Hewson, Colin Baker, Todd Carty, Sonia! And who was the fifth?
Oh, who was the fifth?
Oh, God.
You said Colin Baker.
Colin Baker, Todd Carty, Sherry Hewson, Sonia, and...
Oh, neither of us can remember.
Oh, goodness me, they're clearly not that famous. Anyway, and another celebrity.
In fact, 2 other celebrities.
Yeah, because Todd Carty finished, and then Michael...
What's it? Who was in
Coronation Street. These people aren't that famous, but they're kind of famous in the UK.
Done a lot of stage work as well.
Yeah, they do panto, they do comedy, and they're nice people.
Yeah.
They're jobbing actors, basically.
Or singers.
That's
Sonia.
right, Sonia.
What is it? They're really leet.
No, that's not Liverpudlian.
Oh,
Please.
That's it. Yeah.
Please.
But it was so funny. Colin Baker was not a great driver. Oh, but the other one that I can't remember was a good driver.
Tony Blackburn.
Tony Blackburn,
who is a DJ going right back to the 60s on Radio Caroline, which was a pirate radio station on a boat.
Yeah. Which is why it was a
and
pirate.
He seemed very nice as well.
One of my friends,
like a nice person, but useless at cooking. And you did get the sense that none of them ever do any cooking.
Yeah.
Or anything. Really. They lead these sort of strange lives
but
where
you also
they eat
got
out all the time.
You also got the feeling that Todd Carty loves his food. He would eat anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. That was
great fun, and there was sort of the bits where
good.
they're going down, narrow lanes. they bash the caravan against the edge.
But I think one of the main enjoyment points of it is seeing the scenery. The scenery of where they were going. They were travelling through Yorkshire, Cornwall. They're not together on the map.
No,
there was another place as well, wasn't there?
No, they went. They
Lake District.
Lake District,
which is the other side.
of Yorkshire.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
No, it's Lake District's up here. Yorkshire's over here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the other side of England.
Well, sort of, yes.
Yeah. Where Cornwall is right down here.
Down the bottom. So anyway, that was lovely. Enough about that, Paul. Silence. Grayson's Art Club, which I kind of was
switched off last night.
Yeah, I'm not finding it that interesting, to be absolutely honest with you. I think it's run its course, and I think it should finish now, completely.
Who was the celebrities?
Don't know. I wasn't watching properly. I wasn't interested.
I thought there was some interesting bits on it last night, but I mean, it's come to an end. The season end was last night.
Good.
And I think it's been really interesting. What it does make me think is anything can be art, and I don't really think anything should be art. That doesn't mean that I think everything should be high art, but you know, a bit of hair on a twig, and you know, there's a deep meaning to that. It's sort of
we talked all about that last week, Paul, didn't we?
Oh, I forgot.
We did. Poirot. We watched a Poirot, The Labours of Hercules, which is a particularly good episode.
It is,
isn't it?
It's a much later one.
It's a good one, though.
It's a really good adaptation.
Although I did have a problem
with
the
oh yeah, the scenery.
The scenery, the picture of the mountains, which was, you know, matted in.
You don't need to carry on doing that.
The sun wasn't moving across the mountain.
No.
That annoyed me. But jolly good, jolly really worth good. A watch. We won't tell you who did it.
And what else did we watch with mountains?
With mountains? I don't know.
Who climbed every mountain?
Oh, we watched The Sound of Music.
We did. We dropped into The Sound of Music film about 3/4 of the way through, where it sort of gets exciting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Ben-Hur and The Sound of Music are those films that are always on at Easter.
I can't stand Ben-Hur.
Can't you?
Oh no, God. I have no interest whatsoever. There is one reason to watch.
What, Naked Bodies?
Yes.
Yes.
But that's it. I can't be bothered with all that rubbish.
So yeah, we did watch...
Sound of Music's actually pretty... If you really dissect it, it's a very strange, saccharine... Apart from the Nazis, it's a strange, saccharine film. And it's quite stilted in many ways, the delivery of it. It's very formulaic. The whole thing is designed to provoke emotional reactions. There's no realism to it really, is there?
No.
Other than the fact it's a real story.
Was it Rodgers and Hammerstein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very engineered, I find. Even though I have a great fondness for it, and Edelweiss always gets me emotionally.
Absolutely.
That scene I don't know why.
It catches me even before it does.
Yeah.
There's a bit in Cabaret as well, which again is a bit particularly about Nazis, where the village stands up and sings "Tomorrow Belongs to Me." And just before that, I always get caught, but for completely opposite reasons to Edelweiss.
Yeah, so
but what was your favourite bit?
My favourite bit? Oh, my favourite bit in The Sound of Music is when the nuns fix the Nazis' cars and go, "Reverend Mother, we have sinned." And they show the parts that they've ripped out of the car. That, I think, is fantastic. The nuns are the funniest bit in the movie.
They are.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the most wholesome bit, obviously.
I think they're the cheekiest bit.
Absolutely, that's what makes them wholesome. I think it's that cheekiness.
The children are truly terrible. I mean, those performances, when you really think about it, are just appalling. Julie Andrews, of course, is beautiful. But so sweet, it's unbelievable. You know, she made those films quite close together.
Yeah.
And, you know, they all came out around the same time.
Yeah.
She was...
Talking about Mary Poppins.
She had them all in the can, and then they all came out. So there was a wave of Julie Andrews around that period of time. And one can see how people were like, you know.
But they were lapping it up.
A lot of people didn't like it.
I think far more did. That's why they were so successful.
No, I know. I'm not saying they weren't cool.
You're talking about a tiny minority.
But I think a lot of people, cool people, it wasn't cool to like those movies, particularly. Anyway, silence. And the final one, the final show to talk about, and spoiler alert.
Oh, yes.
Spoiler alert. Unforgotten. So, mute now if you don't want to hear what happens. The finale of Unforgotten. Final series.
No, the finale.
Or is it? So, spoiler is... She dies.
Yeah.
She dies. She's dead.
Cassie
dies.
So
They killed her off.
She had that car accident where somebody went into her.
Never recovered.
Didn't recover.
Never recovered. Killed her off. Buried her. Gone. Which was shocking, actually. The thing that was... it was quite emotional, even though I've only watched a few episodes.
Well, you've only watched this series.
And the thing about it that I found emotional was we have been given news in that fashion. In the past, when our friend passed away, we received a phone call to say she wasn't going to recover. So it kind of brought that back. And, you know, that sort of numbness. And, you know, you just can't quite believe what you're being told.
You always think when you have that news that that person's going to improve. Hopefully they'll improve fully, but they may not. And then your hopes are dashed. You know,
well, our hopes weren't even built up or dashed. We got the whole news in one phone call.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know...
But we'd had a voice message before, which...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But...
Anyway...
so, yeah, shocking.
But it looks as though they're going to be changing the cast somewhat so that Unforgotten can continue. Which actually I think that's a good thing. I think it's a well-written series. We'll see. It depends who comes in, obviously.
I mean, she is an exceptionally good actress, although somewhat typecast.
Yeah, but I think she's one of my favourite actors. Nicola Walker, one of my favourite actors.
She's done a lot. She's done a lot now, and she's been going. I mean, she was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. In the folk band. Not that I've only seen it once.
But apparently she's going on to do another series, which is why she's not continuing in Unforgotten.
So lovely, that's our roundup of this week's television.
And I've also started listening on Audible to The Salt Path, which Vivi mentioned as a book. And I've been listening to that, and it's really it's great, but it's quite a painful story about somebody who loses their house and their home, and then their husband is diagnosed with a disease which is terminal, but actually the interesting thing is the Audible is actually narrated by the writer, and I think you feel the impact of her words so much more through her own voice. And she's got a little speech impediment like I have. And when I started listening to it, I thought, oh no, can I listen to a whole book? And then I thought, I just got into it and loved it. And her whole character, her personality, not her character, because it's not a character, it's a personality, comes through in the reading. So yeah, recommend that.
Good. That's it. So finally, word of the week.
What were?
Word of the bloody week.
I didn't think we were having a
Did
What's
you
With
say
this week.
Sunday chat at the beginning of this episode?
Sunday chat!
Because you didn't last week. It was pointed out to us.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't at the beginning of this one either.
So, that's why I've just said it, Paul.
I know, that's why I've just said it, because you just said it, so I said it. So it's now...
Word of the week is Quidnunc.
Oh.
Quidnunc. Quidnunc. Quidnunc.
C. N-U-N-C.
Quidnunc. Yeah, you thought you knew what it was then, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be a K, not a C.
Well, there you go. Quidnunc. Oh, such a quidnunc. Oh, you quidnunc.
Is it someone who thinks they're more knowledgeable than they are?
No.
Is it somebody who... Is it a personality trait?
It is an adjective to describe a trait, yes.
Is it someone who doesn't really... Is it when you talk about things and you don't really know what you're talking about?
Well, it could be, but it's not.
Right.
Sort of, maybe, perhaps.
I can't even...
Quidnunc.
Well, there's nuncture, isn't there?
She's such a quidnunc.
Nuncture.
She's the quidnunc of the village.
Gossip.
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Oh, where does that come from?
Well, it's an old word. It's one of those old words.
But what's the derivative of it?
Wait a moment, let me just Google it. I don't know, you can look it up.
Well, I like to know what the derivative of...
Well, I didn't have
you know,
time to
is.
do a full Google. So, that's it for this week's Easter special. Not really. We do hope you've enjoyed spending your Easter Sunday morning with us in reflection of what Easter means to you.
Are you going to make a cake?
I'm going to make an Easter cake.
What are you going to make?
Chocolate cake. I'm going to do a fat-free sponge.
Oh, yeah, that would be
Because
quite good for me at the
we
moment.
haven't got any butter. So I'm going to do a fat-free, which is eggs, flour, and...
Cocoa powder, chocolate,
baking powder,
baking powder, milk.
No, you don't put milk in.
Don't you?
No, you don't. You have to whisk the eggs and sugar. You whisk the eggs and sugar together first.
So you make a meringue.
No, you don't.
You make a loose meringue.
You don't. A meringue cannot happen if there is egg yolk in there, Paul.
Oh, I see.
You could whisk the egg whites first, then beat the yolks and fold them together. You could do that, but you have to fold the flour in with a metal spoon to incorporate and keep all that air inside. Anyway, if I get time I might video it, but don't hold your breath.
But will you put a photo on Planet Vegetaria?
Potentially.
Maybe even a video of us eating it.
Potentially.
Is it going to have an icing?
Silence! We're saying goodbye now.
Bye!
Take care. Toodle pip. Toodaloo. Au revoir. We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.